I don't prepare for anything, as you'll find out. First off, so who are the new coaches since the last Super Saturday? I'll tell you something that they used to tell us when I first became a coach, which was, be here next year. Stick with it. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be times when you just don't think that it's going to work. It is all worth it. Everything you do, every person you help, you're going to make a difference in somebody's life. I promise you. The greatest thing that you'll get out of this is not a paycheck. It's that email from somebody who says, you helped me change my life. So just stick with it. I want to see you all back here next June. So my story, I kind of do, I guess, you know, that actually probably would have been about.
I forgot my pen.
Unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to actually bring a JPEG to put up here, but I'll show you this. That was me in November of 2007. And this was 6 months after I had heart surgery at 41 years old. My wife and I were out walking our dogs. I started getting severe chest pains and made it home. Like a man, I didn't go to the doctor because I refused to think there was anything seriously wrong. So I made an appointment, went in, and basically after about an hour they admitted me to the hospital. I'd never been in the hospital, never stayed, never had an IV. It was a horrible experience. And so after running all the tests, they said, we're going to have to take you in and you're going to have surgery. So, okay, they said, hopefully we're just going to do an angioplasty. We think you have some clogged arteries. We're going to see what once we get in there. Worst case scenario, we're going to have to go in and do a bypass. Crack your chest open. You're going to have this really cool scar that runs down there. So, fortunately, all they had to do, they ballooned one of my arteries that was 50% blocked, and they put a stent in another one that was 98% blocked. And the doctor told me when I got out of there, you are lucky that you were still walking around. And I still have the coolest picture in the world of my heart before they opened it back up. And you see these two little lines, and then you see what looks like a hair off your head between them. And that was, and he said, just one more little piece of plaque and you're done. So for 6 months, I couldn't do anything. Basically, they said, all we want you to do is walk. Just hang out, you know, but you got to eat right. It was not hereditary. It was all because I was a horrible eater. You know, my diet is meat, potatoes, candy, baked goods, whatever you can put in your body that is horrible for you. I had no idea how to eat right. So for 6 months, I did nothing. I tried, you know, to eat a little better. And one night in November, I'm sitting watching TV like I always did, and Tony Horton pops up on my screen. I'm like, hey, this guy's pretty ripped. I'm going to watch this. So I watched him. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Okay, not sure I could do it. I haven't even been cleared to exercise yet, but okay. So I talked to my wife. I'm like, I said, come here, you got to watch it. And she just looked at me and said, okay, so you want to spend $120 on something that's going to go out in the garage next to the home gym that you have sitting out there. I'm like, I promise, I'll sell it. I'll sell the gym, I'll buy P90X. So that was the deal. I had to sell it, I could buy P90X. So in November of that year, I got cleared by my doctor to start, and so I did it. I'm like, you know, I'm one of those people, I want to jump in feet first. I didn't even know what Power 90 was, but I didn't want to start slow. I wanted to just get with it. On day 2, if any of you have done P90X, you know plyometrics is day 2. Yeah, that was the first day I wanted to quit. And you know, but I was determined. All I had to do was 90 days. That was it. I committed myself. I used the nutrition guide. That was probably the most important part for me. Because we threw out all the junk, we donated whatever we could, and we went to the store and shopped out of the P90X nutrition guide. And I will say that is probably one of the great things about Beachbody is they're not just focused on getting you to work out. They're focused on the entire package because without eating healthy and eating right, it doesn't matter what you do to the outside of your body because the inside will eventually fail you. So after 3 months of doing P90X, I was like, wow, I lost 23 pounds. This is awesome. Gonna keep going. did another 3 months. So in 6 months, I got down from this, which was 182 pounds for 5 foot nothing. And I was down less than what I weighed when I graduated as a senior in high school. And I couldn't even find pants because they don't make them that waist size, for legs that are short. So I wear shorts like all year round. You can't find pants that fit. So, and I will say I made it one of my goals when I started this was, I found out about what they used to call the $1 million body game. And I saw, I'm like, I want that. I want to be a part of that. I submitted my story after 6 months. Didn't hear a thing. Like, okay, I guess I got to work a little harder. It took me another year. I'm like, I'm not submitting until I know I'm going to win. Submitted. About a month later, I get a call. I couldn't even tell. I was so excited. I don't even know who called me. And all they said was, I just wanted to let you know that you're our July winner for the men's 40 to 49. And people had to come from the aisles in my office because I screamed so loud. And because it was a goal. It meant a lot to me to get that. And I knew at that point, because if you go online and you see some of the success stories, I think 45 pounds, God, that was easy. I see guys Richard Neal losing 220 pounds. It's... so I knew I didn't have a shot at that big prize, but I was happy. I made my goal. The next year, I found out about Beachbody coaching, and I was approached. I'd been online. If you are online, use the forums. They're fantastic. You get to meet some great people, and I had met somebody on there. The person who was assigned as my coach, I never heard from. I never talked to. In a year and a half of being a Beachbody customer. I did it all on my own, and I did it on the forums. So I found out this person was a coach, and I asked her, I'm like, as a coach, what do you do? And she told me, and I asked her, I said, do you mind if I said, is there a way to switch coaches? Because my coach doesn't help me. He never has, and, I like you. It's, I'm not too macho to say, hey, I've got a woman for a coach, And so I did. I switched. And we began talking about me becoming a coach. Because she's like, you have this story. Tell your story. Be a coach. Tell other people. Go out and help people. And I'm already telling everybody anyway, you got to buy P90X. It's the greatest thing in the world. Here, look, pictures. And by the way, I get people, I show them that, they're like, that's not you. You have a tattoo. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah, because there's no way that I could have got that. And I will tell you, something that means a whole lot to me, this tattoo, I have this because this is my wedding ring. When I lost all that weight, my wedding ring no longer fit. And it had a very specific design on it that if you resize it, it'll absolutely ruin the design. So we took it actually in Vegas. And see what happens, you go to Vegas. And so, and I took my ring with this little tiny design to this guy, and he drew it up, and he put it on my arm. And so that's, if you're married to her, guy, you need to. And, but it's just, and so I became a coach because it was I found that passion. I have a day job. It's great. I don't save the world. I don't, I protect data. And, so, and this gave me a way to really make a difference. Somebody once said, when you're dead 100 years, is there still somebody alive whose life you affected? The butterfly effect. It just goes out. So I help somebody, and maybe they help a friend, or they help their son or their daughter. And maybe they teach them something about eating healthy, or they give them Shakeology. Back when I started, Shakeology wasn't there. How I wish it would, that Carl would have had the foresight to maybe say, hey, we got this guy in Sacramento, he needs a little help. Let's make a product. But it's just, it's hard to describe until you are a coach and you really see the difference it made in your life, because that was what I had to work on first. I had to make sure that I was a better person. that I could be the person to go out and help somebody. And now, you know, I've had literally one of my dearest, greatest friends in the world. I've known him since I was 5 years old. We grew up down the street from each other. And he's moved away, and he's married and got kids. And a few years ago, you know, we keep in touch, email, Facebook, and he sent me an email and he said, I've seen your story. I've been watching what you did. He goes, I'm 280 pounds, and he's about 5'9". He said, I need you to help me. I want to do something. I said, okay, what's your goal? He said, I want to lose 100 pounds. I was 180 pounds when I was, you know, in my 20s. That's what I want. So, okay, we'll get to work. And through Insanity and P90X and Shakeology and just, I mean, a hell of a lot of hard work, all I remember, and I still have it, he sent me a text, and it was him standing on the scale with 180.2. And it is. And he still will not enter the Beachbody. And he didn't do it to win money. He didn't do it for anything. He did it for his family. And he told me, he sent me another email. He said, my wife says she owes you the biggest hug for giving her husband back. And that's what matters. You know, there are people who do this for financial gains, which is fine. I mean, it's, you know, whatever your motivation is, be the best you can be. I do it because I love things like that. Because I want, you know, every time I meet somebody that I know I could help them, and, you know, I'll give them a card, and, you know, I'm like, you know, and you can tell if they're not ready. Say, just, I'm here. I'm still going to be here. 10 years from now, if you decide, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds, if you can find my card, call me, because I'm still going to be doing this. Because this now is what my passion is. And, you know, one of the first things, you know, your coach will tell you, Beachbody will tell you, find your why. My why is sitting right there, and my little why is over in San Francisco. And, I mean, that was my motivation. I couldn't imagine when I got out of that operating room, and my wife is sitting there crying because I actually came out okay, that how close I came to making her a widow, 41 years old. And nobody should go through that. And it was all self-imposed. I did it to myself. And now, you know, it's great. They invite me to come and stand in front of this. And trust me, I hate standing in front of it. This is not, get me on Facebook, get me on anything.
You couldn't even tell.
In front of a video camera, that's great. But thank you. Have a great time. I hope that those of you who didn't make it to Summit, go next year. Register. It will absolutely change your life and change the way you think about fitness. I guarantee it. So thank you very much, and enjoy.